don't know how to play, so from then I had to suit up. Right, high V's checkered like I stole somebody's Stewart. Digital physio, signal.
I'm Zenner with Showstream TV. I'm in B-Works in Manchester, and I'm joined by the incredible LayFullstop. How you doing, Lay?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Good day in Manchester for you today.
Yes, no rain, so you know what it is? Good.
Money on the rise.
Yeah, money on the rise. And the tides.
A lot of the rappers in Manchester say money on the rise. Where did it come from, and who owns it?
Ooh, no ownership. No ownership. You can claim it. I think it's a claim. You claim it yourself. You know, if you're a Manchester creative and you're contributing to the work that's happening, you're part of the rise as well. So you say money on the rise?
Money on the rise. 0161.
Oh, 0161 for sure. 0161.
So how did you first get into rapping?
So, before I started rapping, I was a poet. Still am a poet. Questionable, debatable, but yeah, I am a poet, and I started from, first kind of expressing myself. People know me as a blue person, so when I used to write, I used to really write my, every time I was feeling down, angry and annoyed, so it was my form of expression. After that, I just kind of got into my taste of music and was able to kind of put the sounds together that I liked. I really loved Japanese jazz growing up, like a band called Cassiopeia, and different game consoles. Like, I know it sounds funny, but like my family, we grew up on Nintendo 64s and stuff like that. So the games, songs that was playing in the background,
like the little bleeps,
yeah, and stuff. Like if you're into Zelda and things like that, the music was always so great, and I was really inspired growing up. So then naturally I was always like, rapping would be so dope, and these type of music. So I used to actually do that when I was younger. And then taking it more seriously, I was kind of venturing into singing and rapping, but I didn't really, there was no lines for me. It was just a bit of both, like if you call it rapping, call it a rap. If you call it singing, it's called that as well. And then it was just more of forming it into something that I enjoyed, a bit of my inspirations of like old school hip hop, female artists, and male artists. And then, making a bit of a little thing out of it, and then
little cocktail,
yeah,
a little Lay cocktail. Definitely soul fusion in there as well.
Yeah, well, soul mocktail, yeah, for sure. I mean, it was something that when I first started to do a bit of rapping, I thought, you know what, I want to really find my style. I want to take the time out and really get to know what I want to talk about, the content, flow, all that kind of stuff. So it's still a journey going on where I'm just like, you know what, I really dig that.
Your family really passionate about music? Has that come through for you? Or is it something that's just like, it's just you, inherently you?
Yeah, I mean, my mum's side of the family, they're all Christians, so we grow up in a church, and we have like praise and worship when we're in church. So, and then obviously my family is interested into a lot of R&B, your old school Mary J. Blige, your Left Eyes, TLC, all of that kind of stuff. So I did grow up heavy with that, and then my dad's side was more eclectic. Mm-hmm. In fact, they didn't really like to listen to music with words, which is why I mentioned the game music again. They just thought, everybody's chatting foolishness, we'll listen to instrumentals. And that's how they, continue to go about their expression as well. So if you mesh the two, it kind of makes a bit of sense why my music is not strictly your traditional soul. And it has that little alternativeness to it because of the way I was brought up. And
maybe as a poet as well, the instrumentals give you the space to be able to think and be creative about how you want it to pull it together.
Yeah, space is a brilliant thing for a creative, for sure.
So what are your musical inspirations, though? Who are you hearing right now or over the last few years that have made you inspired your music in any way?
For sure. I think it was something that when as I grew up, you only kind of, certain artists, and then you re-know them again a few years later when you're truly able to understand their pain and you're older, and you're able to connect with their music in a different way. So, of course, that's your Erykah Badu's, Lavender Hill. Absolutely adored The Internet. You had Future. And then as I started to grow up even more, I started to really appreciate your Layla Hathaways, Esperanza Spalding, went back to Nina Simone, and then I got to appreciate your Queen Latifahs again, rather than just enjoying the music, but actually appreciating what they were doing back then, and understanding that you know, I really miss it. I don't think you get that sound as much these days.
Yeah.
So I think listening to it again, I can appreciate the time that it was then, but be like, you know what, that was cool. I can, as a artist, you're just like, yo, it's mad how they just kind of put these things together, and it was so simple. It was never really complicated. No. Now everything has to be, you know, really complicated to make something. Back then it didn't need that. It just needed some drums, keys, a voice, and, you know, Bob was your uncle.
Do you know what I love about that list, Lay? They were all female artists.
See, I didn't even know that.
They were all female artists, and I know that you retweeted something earlier on, which on Twitter, which was a guy that had basically put a top rappers list together, and it was all guys, and there was loads of people going off, going, "What? You know, where's Lauryn Hill? Where's you know, all these massive names?"
Yeah, I think just when people think rapper, they feel like they don't realize that, oh yeah, there's not females on it, and for them it's just like, oh yeah, we know there's dope female rappers, we just forgot, but they don't understand just forgot, you know what I mean? It's the ignorance that's a bit like, you know, and there's this grading that we're not allowed to be put next to men. You know, females have to be patched against females and men have to be patched against men, but females and male rappers can have the same, or if not better, what's the word? Quality, or and you know, to the raps, they have something to the raps where it could just be female could be better than a male. I don't see why it has to be two separate lists.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm trying to say.
I think a few people had commented saying, yeah, but they don't speak to me because I resonate with what a guy's saying. And do you find that? Do you feel like your music reaches out and connects more with women than it does with men?
Funnily enough, I believe I've got more male listeners than female listeners, which I always thought was like, that's crazy. Like, really? But again, because of that, and I'm not really pleading to either. I just kind of, as a female, I'm inevitably speak of my female experiences, but I'm not specifically reaching out to a specific type of audience. And I feel the same when other people listen to audiences. Inevitably, if they're male or female, you're going to connect with them more and their experiences. But after that line, you know, you're missing, apart from the experiences, some of it is just, you know, joyful raps and nothing that serious, you know. So there's not always a lot you need to relate to. It's just enjoying the vibe and enjoying the fact that, you know what, that was a dope track. Those were dope bars. I can appreciate that.
And if you wanted anyone to take a message from your music, what would it be?
Ooh, I say it 1,000 times. I'm going to keep on saying, I'm going to say it's journey, because I love that there's no beginning or end. There's just journey. And I think that's what it's all about. It's never like, I made it, you know, like.
Maybe one day.
Yeah. Obviously, in that I made it. But, you know, like even emotionally, you feel like, yes, I've got to the person I want to be. There's always growth, whether you're 1, 10, 60. I always believe that there's always a journey. And I like that it's, again, just open, but no end, no box to it. It's just wherever you are, you can start where you're at and you can go to where you want to go to. But then you're still going to need to go some more when you get there. Like, it never ends.
It's life, though, isn't it? Because you change and evolve as you get older, and your likes and your discoveries as well.
Exactly. Again, I was saying from inspirations before, I appreciate them before, but as you're older, you appreciate them differently. It's just...
Yeah, you maybe hear different things in the music and different lyrics that suddenly connect with you now that maybe wouldn't have done. Like, what is there a lyric or something that's shouted out to you that you hadn't really noticed or felt before? That's a bit of a putting you on the spot situation, isn't it?
Oh, you did get me there. Let me see if I can think of one. How you gonna win if you ain't right within? Yeah, Lauryn Hill, Last Ones. Please tell me it's Last Ones. See if imagine if I get this wrong now. But yes, a Lauryn Hill bar is, how you gonna win when you ain't right within? I didn't obviously understand that when I was younger, but as you get older and as I got older, I was able to understand. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. How are you going to win if you ain't right within? And then, you know, the deeper level is that what is within, you need to get to know yourself. You need to make sure that's right as well. You know, knowing yourself and then making sure it's in line with the rightness is two different things.
Wise words as well, I reckon. You got to look after number one. And if you don't love yourself,
Yeah, how can you get anybody to love you?
Exactly. Getting deep now, getting deep.
Can't help it, mate.
We'll go a bit more frivolous, maybe. So the rap and soul scene in Manchester, what are the venues and spaces that are the most supportive and creative for you at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, you have to, anytime we talk about venues and stuff, I have to give a massive shout out to Band on the Wall. They've always been a big supporter for all of us who's just on our own creative journeys. Not just musicians, but all creatives. It's just set as a good platform. And for me, I know when I was starting out, Contact Theatre has always been an amazing space where it hosted workshops and you were allowed to kind of network, meet other people, and host your skills. And then as far as like performing venues, other performing venues, you got Matt and Phreds. Obviously, the whole of Northern Quarter in Manchester. If you haven't been here, you have to come. You really do have to come. And then I really want to give a shout out to like 256 in Fallowfield, Fallow Cafe. That was one of my favourite venues when I was like doing ciphers and things like that. I really enjoyed. Such dope people. I remember in that place. Indigo.
Also in Withington,
yeah, for sure. That they always have jam nights there. So once a week. So you get such amazing musicians and players that just turn up there, play your thing, have good vibes. Like, yeah, it's a really dope spot.
They're kind of unexpected as well. Do you meet more people and musicians? And
yeah, I think, it's kind of depending on the times that you go, you kind of meet a whole round. You got musicians who either always go every week, and then you got musicians where it's just like, oh, hey, haven't seen you in a while. Yeah, I just thought I'd come out for the week, and just play some tunes and stuff like that. And, as creatives, we still do need to do that. We still just go out, have a jam, play, connect with one another. Like, yeah, those venues are really good for hosting things like that.
What obstacles and challenges do you find being a woman in the rap scene?
I think, again, probably, I'd still say I'm very new to the rap scene, so I've got a lot to experience. I just think, as females, again, it's a thing of you can spit bars because you're a female, and it's just understanding that it shouldn't be a massive gasp. I remember when I'd perform it was always like you were 5,000 times better because it was coming from a female. And I remember just thinking, you don't need to do that, you don't need to compensate. Like, there's no compensation needed. Like, I'm an artist, I've come to give you my little creative bits, and it's about the reception should be about whether you like it or not, not whether you're surprised it's coming from me. And for example, I've had times where I'd feel real cute, like I'd dress up and I feel really, really cute, and I could tell that people are even more astounded when they see me rap and things like that. And sometimes it's like, you don't need to be like, but then at the same time, it gives me more oomph when I'm like on stage. I'm just like, give it more. I love things like that.
Does it feel like you're equal though? Because we are equal at the end of the day. Or do you still feel like people treat you differently?
Yeah, I think with things like that, a lot of it is innate. So a lot of people will probably say, oh, it is equal, but then there are so many instances where it's very clear that it's not.
Like unconscious bias type.
Yes, perfect. Unconscious bias, where, people don't realize that they're doing it. Us as females don't realize that we keep accepting it. And it's just, as much as we can say we're getting more equal, but I definitely couldn't say that we're absolutely equal. It's just, we've been a little bit more tolerant to it, whilst actually standing up for it a bit more. But we still got a bit to go.
Where have you been recording and writing of late?
Where have I been recording and writing? Mainly at home. Keeping
it simple.
Yeah, definitely. When you're in your own space, it goes without saying, you can just really be yourself. I love just cooking food, rapping, like in the middle of, because anytime I go studios, I eat terrible. I eat absolutely terrible. You're talking 24 3-day studio sessions and you just eat terribly. So when I'm at home, I've got like a little in-house studio. I can just go to my kitchen, whip up some quick, nice, healthy, quote unquote food.
Is it noodles?
Yeah. It is noodles.
We had a little chat a second ago. Noodles for breakfast.
Yeah, and lunch and dinner. The real ones know I never change, bro. It's always noodles, breakfast, and lunch, dinner.
So what's your kit for recording then in your studio at home? Have you got like a computer and like recording
so
device?
we have our little little
we know what you
MacBook.
mean.
Yeah, MacBook, Mbox. We've got a synth, a little drum pad, and some speakers. That's literally it.
So if you want to get rapping, you can literally do it at home.
Yeah.
Just get yourself
Anybody
a bit of
can.
kit.
Yeah, for sure. And even if you don't have kit, to be honest, like as long as you got a Mac and if you downloaded a software and you just really trying to start it out, you can actually record yourself on your Mac. If you're just trying to put down ideas, like you just work up to it when you can, innit?
So what you do, just get them down on your phone and stuff as you're walking along.
Rapid,
Just
yeah.
so you make sure you don't lose it.
Totally voice note that all the time, memo pad. Perfect.
So any young artists or new artists that are inspiring you locally at the moment, who should we check out?
Yeah, I mean, definitely Isaiah Hall. You've got Matthew Baines, Black Ice and Tobias. So these guys, they're a mixture of poets, DJs, musicians, and even them, the way that they collaborate with each other is still very much the culture that we have in Manchester. So it's just nice to see how the generations are just continually just putting Manny on the map but not just because of that, because they're super talented, like it's just all of us that we kind of come together and they're really just holding it down and exceptionally talented as well. And again, kind-hearted as well. That's something that you can really find here in Manchester, just really kind-hearted, free-spirited. Yeah, like, as a creative, it's not just the music, it's the heart as well and what they can contribute to each other and ourselves. Like, they're all of that, man.
Everyone wants everyone to do well, don't they? It's not a competition. They just want everyone to smash it.
Nobody's going to win competition-wise, like, it's really no point. Like, of course we get to our times where it's like, man, we're fighting for it, but then at the same time, like, we're all in the same boat, so what are we fighting for, really?
Which gets us onto collaborations, because you were collaborating with Children of Zeus on the latest album, which has obviously got amazing reviews as well. How did that come about?
Well, you know what? Like, Children of Zeus, like, we've been trying to do a collab for time. Like, we really enjoyed each other's music, and it was just, with any creative, it's just a time and when, so it was them that was like, you know what? Let's kind of get into the studio. And I was like, yes, let's use this date and let's definitely get in there. And you know what? We was just going through some beats and the Fear of a Flat Planet, which is the collaboration that we did. I really fell in love with the beat and it was like, if you don't. And then we did something to the song and it was just something that was like, man, I really enjoyed this song and we enjoy performing it. So it's mad how, a little idea just kind of sprung into, what it is today.
And you've been collaborating with Charlene Monique as well. What a video as well to that.
She's a queen.
Blinding tune, Diamond Woman. Oh, so good.
To her, man. Nah, thank you.
Is it these things just come along organically, or do you reach out to one another, people that you don't know? Yeah,
I think the collabs that I do, I mean, if anybody could speak on behalf of me, I don't just collaborate with anybody. Like, I'm very specific about not necessarily the person, but the music that we are going to produce. So I don't just be like, yeah, let's, do a collaboration here. And it's timing as well. So the collabs that you do see me do are very organic because it's like, yeah, let's kind of get this kind of going. It's people that, we haven't just gotten into the studio. We've spoken for a bit. We've got to know each other. So when we actually come to create that creative project, we're bouncing off each other as people, not just as musicians. So hopefully it makes like a stronger collaboration.
If you could collaborate with anyone else, who would it be?
Oh, like anywhere.
Yeah, give them a shout out. Let's see if we can make it happen. No pressure. The pressure's rising.
I know. Is it just in Manchester or anywhere?
Anywhere.
Oh gosh.
The world is your oyster.
It's my oyster. Okay, I would. You know what? I would love to collaborate with Anderson .Paak. I think that would be dope.
God, can we make that happen, please? I love Anderson .Paak.
Anderson. Anderson.
Can we go to Oxnard, make it happen?
You know what I mean? I'll be the 19th track. Come on, man. Like.
Shout out to Anderson Paak. And your latest single was called Cherries. It was out, last month?
Yes, it's nearly a month now.
Oh my God, how does that feel?
You know what? I really enjoyed the track, and it's a whole experience for me. So when I say Cherries, it's not just a single. Again, there's so much more to come. So I'm just like, you know, the little
dangling
cherry.
that
yeah,
little,
but
you're
it's not the
dangling
cherry in the
that
top because I'm working backwards, aren't I? But yeah, I'm super excited. It's been such a great response. People just, you know, sending me so much love about it, man. So yeah, Cherries, go cut that out everywhere.
What's next?
Oh, so
Next for LayFullstop.
yeah, definitely more music. You know, obviously there's been a time where I've just kind of been in the studio getting my things down and stuff. But yeah, there's definitely a lot more music coming, and not just with myself. It's just, you know, a lot of things hopefully that people have been waiting for. I can hopefully give it to you. And then, yeah, hope a couple more shows going on this year. I know I've got the one in Birmingham featuring, supporting with Terry Walker and Sunshine Anderson. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Nice.
I'm really looking forward to that. And yeah, just, you know, stay tuned because again, it's a whole experience. Wink, wink.
Wink, wink. That means there's some huge stuff coming. Is that right?
Yeah, hopefully it's huge. Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely some stuff coming. I can say that for sure.
I mean, it's not just the music, is it? It's the kind of visual side of things. How much pressure do you feel on yourself to have the videos and the social media and the imagery and the photographs and the styling? Do you feel like quite pressured?
You know what? At times, yes, because sometimes it's out of my comfort zone. Like certain things where I could just be like, yeah, you know, I just have it like this. But then I think, you've got to think like we got to do something that's more different than before. And obviously, not necessarily for reception. It's more of how can I just top what I did before as a creative, and you know, even things like styling and stuff. I'm just like, yes, I'm just, as you grow older, your style changes. So I've just been watching how my style changes and kind of fitting into that box as well. And again, at days it's like, this is so exciting. You know, I'm an independent artist. So I was like, I'm do this, I do this, I do this. And other days it's like, I'm an independent artist. Oh my goodness.
What the work, the reality of being a DIY independent artist.
I'm telling you. But like you say, when you have that tick at the end, it's like, whew, sorted.
How do you keep yourself motivated?
Oh, I pray, read the Bible, and apart from the normal self-care, I think when it sometimes it just gets to a point where I just forget everything for whether it's an hour or a day that I can have. I just don't do anything.
Self-care.
Yeah. Okay, still self-care then, isn't it really?
Well, I thought it's escapism, isn't it? Do you feel like, I don't know about you.
I'm one of them.
Do you feel like if you have a bit of headspace, you actually get really good ideas because you've taken the pressure off?
Yeah, definitely. I don't think you know, when you're being creative, the last thing some people work well with pressure. I'm not one of them people. I really have to kind of make sure I clear my mind. You know, I do things like I use colouring books. You know, read. I'm such a bookworm. Like, so if you see me blinking a lot, it's because I don't have my glasses on today. Anytime I don't, I'm like. Yeah, but things like that. I just love anything, notebooks, writing, anything to do with that.
Sounds like you're just truly being yourself, though. Like that's what comes through with the music, and that's what comes through with the lyrics.
Thank you.
If you could do anything, or we could make any changes to the music scene in Manchester to support women in soul and rap, what do you think would help?
I think it's because I see people sometimes trying to do it in terms of putting all female events on, and that's great. But again, we need to be mixed. That the whole idea is the equal. So it's just being able to, you know, I don't know, when you have for promoters, if you're trying to promote something, rather than saying it's an all-female lineup, just ask the artist to perform, or, you know, it's less difficult than you think. It's just the attitude, and it's just the approach and delivery of things sometimes where the intent is well, and you can tell that you know that we're equal and stuff, but the delivery suggests that you still don't think we're equal. So I think it's just the way we approach females about certain opportunities and things like that, and just understanding it doesn't need to be, you know, we're in the all females category. Nah, we can just mingle as well, and vice versa, if that makes any sense.
We just need to be equal.
Yeah. And we need to feel it too, you know. Yeah, we need to feel it.
We need to feel it. Lay's saying we need to feel it, so we should feel it.
Feel it.
Thank you so much, Lay.
Thank you so much for having me. Hope it was okay. Thank you.
Don't know how to play, so from then I had to suit up. Right, high V's checkered like I stole somebody's steward. Digital physio, signal can't pick it up. Written in font 64, they can't pick it up. Coming back, coming at my door, I got coming soon. Well, I